the FinTech Challenge we like to hold and invite all the startups from around the world. Really appreciate your time today. Today, you'll be able to hear from different leaders in Taiwan's investment, business, and local startup ecosystem. We really appreciate everyone's efforts and really hope to bring international solutions to Cathay Financial in their steps to digital transformation. In the next few slides, I'll be sharing about how we can better assist foreign founders and how to better integrate with Cathay Financial during today's sessions. Okay, excuse me. Who we are, Taipei Entrepreneurs Hub aims to assist overseas and business tech startups to better establish their presence in Taipei, the capital of Taiwan. With a strong local network of investors, mentors, and dedicated programs to facilitate this effort, Taipei Entrepreneurs Hub is best situated to be the medium point for your startup to land in Taipei. We really are excited. In this picture right here, you'll note that there are a couple of different founders who attended last year's session. The nations ranging from Slovakia to the Netherlands to Germany, the USA, and also Southeast Asia, Thailand. So we had a variety of founders last year participate. A few of them are currently still in Taipei now. And kind of going to why Taipei. Taipei is in the middle and the heart of Asia, with the tools for every type of founder to establish and propel their company forward. There is a well-established transportation and logistics network, and including a high-speed broadband connections throughout the whole island for wide internet coverage. In addition, it is one of the few places in the world that you can go from ideation, design, to prototyping within about 50 kilometers and about 6 hours, that you can have all these processes done for your startup if you're a hardware startup. Next, I like to talk about some of the numbers and why Taipei. Taipei ranks very high in GDP in Asia. There is a high, you could say, ICT industry here, which produces a high median income, including economic potential. There's different founders who are creating new companies all the time locally and internationally, basing their companies out of here. It is a very high-tech global city, ranked by all Business Insider, Financial Times, and The Economist, including Taipei is also the base of Google and IBM's first innovation hardware camps and centers, including Amazon's nodes are also based here in Taiwan. Next, I'd like to share kind of the innovation happening here. Through Taiwan, you can see that in terms of indexes and smart cities and top 100 clusters, it ranks quite high. The IMDA Smart City Index was an increase from the ranking of number 8 to number 4 this year. So that it has increased in the smart city, and that's mainly due to there's a very peer sharing and a lot of, you can basically call it Uber, or you can rent your own scooter from anywhere around the city. And in terms of smart city, most of the times when you wait outside for a bus, generally you don't know the estimated time, but actually if you do live here or come to Taipei, you'll notice that ETAs, or estimated arrival times, are posted outside at all the bus stations, so you can actually go get a coffee and come back if it's over 2 or 3 minutes. So in terms of that, Taipei also is beginning to run electric buses and also automated driverless buses in different cities. Including that, there are different nodes that you can note that Taipei has a high, I guess you could say, driverless research center outside Taipei in Taoyuan, that they're doing driverless research for level 4 automated driving. And one special thing is it's a low cost of living and operational cost compared to other major cities with the same living standards, which also extends and makes your runway longer and your burn rate lower for most startups who have a concern on that point. An average rent for a one bedroom apartment will run roughly about $700 US for a very nice apartment. including most of your costs, you can probably live under 2,000 US and very comfortably at 2,000 US dollars per month for most startup founders who come here alone. One special thing I like to say in terms of innovation, one startup, there is opportunities for startups to have POC or sandboxes with the different either corporations or local governments. One startup who was a Canadian startup 2 years ago, they did their waste management system here. It was a success, and they are now in Toronto Techstars. The company is named Lidbot or Smart Bins, and Ham was here in Taiwan developing its startup with some hardware engineers and some decentralized teams in Europe for software. But he successfully had a POC here in Taiwan, has since expanded his business to Toronto. Next, kind of like why Taiwan and kind of the talent, as every startup here probably understands, to your team and your startup, talent is one of the biggest growth factors for all companies. Without the people, a lot of things don't happen. So Taiwan ranks very high in the number of universities that are in the in different rankings in the world. Those students attending these universities are mainly in the STEM fields such as science, technology, engineering, and math. And including life and social science are very highly, those are a lot of recent graduates are coming out of those different fields. One other thing that to note, Taiwan's English ability on the street in terms of regular people encountering within the city, Taipei actually has a high English rate where when you just need to ask for directions or maybe some other details, you'll actually get a pretty well, I guess, English answer for most people. I would rank it right below possibly Singapore and Hong Kong in terms of English in Asia. Here, I like to kind of just share why you guys might think Taipei would be good for your company in terms of the strong startup support. In terms of startup support, probably Taiwan has the most amount of accelerators in Asia and possibly the world for such a small country. It is the headquarters for many ICT and gaming industry giants, such as Amazon and Google, Microsoft. They all have their hardware or their AI innovation centers here in Taiwan. And in addition, the accelerators we have here are quite international. We have 500 SOSV, which hosts their MOX accelerator here, or the mobile only, and including Spark Labs out of Korea. And Techstars have recently been operating. In addition, Plug and Play has most recently entered Taiwan, both with their investment team and their program support team here in Taiwan. Some of the accelerators and support are focused. Some are focused on fintech, medical tech, healthcare, fintech, and including mobile AI or gaming. So there are specialized fields depending on the founder, which if you are a founder within one of these fields, you will find different accelerators with deep connections in Taiwan and Asia to help you accelerate your business. In addition, there are many cross-border events since COVID, both held offline and offline to facilitate more networking and connections for around the region. Kind of going over here to the next slide, I'd like to share, the investment scene here in Taiwan. Most of this data, I like to thank the Find It team out of the Taiwan Institute of Economic Research, or TIER, who facilitated and shared this data. In terms of the funding, most funding in Taiwan goes to early stage. And when we say early stage, we generally mean your seed through Series A stage startups, which you can see is a high percentage. In most recent 2018, it has been a little bit more for late, but still early stage takes most of the funding. On the left-hand side, or your right, you'll see who is investing. Corporate and venture capital is the majority of the funding coming from those individuals. with overseas and national development right around 30% for respectively for each of those. Overseas investors include funds from the US and Japan and Southeast Asia. Those generally are early stage investors looking for solutions that might work with their portfolio companies, which we do have a strong connection with many of those individuals. Next up, I like to say going to where some of these fundings are going to. Give me one second. A high percentage of Taiwan's funds and where the amount and the distribution of those funding goes to is centered around health tech. As you can see, the number of deals has been upwards of close to 200 since 15 through 19. And the amount has been about 570 million plus during that period. Going down, you do see that it does split off between the types of companies that are getting the majority of funding or the total deals that are funded. What is notable is that auto tech in the amount funded is quite high. And the reason for auto tech rising with a large amount would be because of Taiwan's electric vehicle specialty. It is Taiwan is a critical part and supplier for electric vehicles, most recently noted with the chip shortage in the world, but also including carbon fiber and precision parts for these vehicles. In terms of a lot of the founders here today, I know many of you guys are into fintech, which is Cathay Financial's Fintech Challenge. So you do see that enterprise services on the left at 75 deals and also enterprise services at 183 million have been consistently in the top five. So fintech investments are still in the top five of Taiwan's investment range, just for founders out there who are like to note those. Next up, kind of want to share about the community and why Taiwan would be a great place for you guys to expand. Next, I'll be sharing about some of the community partners here in Taiwan that can better assist you guys in expanding, learning, and networking locally. Taiwan is a very friendly place for a lot of founders. You'll note that Taiwan ranks probably in the top 5 or top 3 in safest cities. Taipei does rank in the top 5 or 3 in the safest cities in the world. I personally can say that there is not a dangerous neighborhood or any specific area of Taipei that I would advise people that would be a no-go or not safe to go. So you should be able to feel safe in Taipei and be able to leave your laptop at a coffee table while you go to the restroom or take a phone call outside. So in terms of community, quite a lot of different networking events for founders to connect with local resources and also other founders within your same vertical or industry for you guys to cross think or ideate or share ideas with each other. So let me share with you a few different of these organizations. The first one I like to note would be Anchor Taiwan. Their founder, Elisa, is a Goldman Sachs ex-corporate lawyer and financier. She has come back to Taiwan and she actually hosts events on a regular basis throughout the year to actually bring in foreign individuals, founders, and business operators to meet with new innovation leaders in startups or in the corporate world. So her mixers or network events are quite a highlight and do bring a broad variety of individuals from across various countries. Anchor Taiwan has very strong corporate support with the major corporations here in Taiwan, both in the tech side and also in the traditional Taiwan manufacturing side, including your laptop makers such as Compal or Foxconn, all the way to Giant, the world's largest bicycle manufacturer. So if you do come to Taiwan, Anchor Taiwan should be one of the people you reach out to, and we would love to introduce you to her if you guys are able to join us in Taiwan. Next would be I mentioned it earlier, MOX or Mobile Only Accelerator. Global Only Accelerator is part of an SOSV network, one of the world's largest early stage investors, consistently ranked in the top five. They do have a physical team here in Taiwan. Their investment team is both here and decentralized throughout the US, China, and India. A lot of their investments are on mobile, so as a fintech challenge, a lot of your solutions geared toward fintech would apply. And I believe some of the applications and invitees might have already been from an MOX or SOSV program. But if you do arrive here in Taiwan, you'll be able to meet the SOSV team and attend some of their events here in Taiwan. Very glad to have them also be part of our network. Next would be Taiwan Startup Stadium. They are one of the earliest leading startup ecosystem builders here in Taiwan. They host a free membership program for startups who would like to expand from Taiwan. But in addition, if you're a startup from overseas that does base your company or have a subsidiary here in Taiwan, there is support for you guys, both through different peer perks and also opportunities to work with some of the partners here. In addition, Taiwan Startup Stadium does issue the entrepreneur's visa for some of the individuals who would like to come to Taiwan longer to better establish their business or just to co-work out of Taiwan. The entrepreneur's visa is issued by our organization, TSS, so that's available too. Next, we'll go to how to soft land. And how to soft land, I'll be going over some of the different ways that you're able to do this. And it can run twofold. One is what I just mentioned, is the entrepreneur visa. The entrepreneur visa just allows entrepreneurs and founders to explore the idea and just to have access without limiting yourself to only a 30 or 90-day visa to come to Taiwan. It is issued to founders who show an interest or establish any type of presence in Taiwan, and that presence can include up to $2 million investment or fundraising secured by a Taiwanese VC. And just to give you an estimate of what $2 million is, $2 million Taiwan dollars is roughly 70,000 US dollars, not quite 100,000. So 2 million equals to about 70,000 US dollars. Or you have a patent or IP that you created that is also able to prove or establish your entrepreneur's visa. And on the third requirement, it could be an acceptance or a letter issued by an incubator, accelerator, or IT park in Taiwan. And following the other methods that you can see below, winning an award, recipient of a subsidy, or a personal investment of 1 million, which is 30,000 US dollars. Any of these are able to establish an entrepreneur visa here in Taiwan, which is valid for 1 year. Next, I'll share with you another possible way to establish your company here in Taiwan. Excuse me. It is called the Entrepreneur Gold Card, and this is a 3-year visa, and it is offered to individuals that can establish their credentials or their professionalism in the fields of science and technology, economy, finance, education, culture, arts, sports, law, architecture, design. As you can see, it's quite wide. And the reason is this gold card is issued by the National Development Council, and they wish to bring in individuals who can bring value and other skills or other benefits to Taiwan when they establish or would like to stay here over a period of time. This does not mean you need to live here 3 years consecutively. It does allow for you to travel anywhere for any period of time. But the only requirements you have are you must show that you have an income greater than roughly 5,000 US dollars, which is equal to 160K NTD. for a period of 3 years. So you just must, that's the only thing you must establish. And you must have documentation or a CV or resume confirming that you're a specialist or have experience in the field above. So the next slide is a little bit more broken down so you can see the differences in this visa or 1 year versus 3 years and maybe the process. One does take a little bit longer, which is the gold card to review. And there are restrictions in terms of entrepreneur and a gold card, where as an entrepreneur visa, we hope that you do come and establish a company. So there are employment restrictions. It's not a employment visa, as opposed to the gold card where you can establish your business, but also maybe take a job or maybe some type of gig economy work. And health insurance. Health insurance is quite a highlight of Taiwan. Taiwan does rank very high in the National Health Institute ability to serve the nation's, I guess, constituents or the population. The healthcare here in Taiwan is both modern and easily accessible. So for the employment gold card, you do receive eligibility immediately versus 6 months for the entrepreneur visa. Even though the validity is only 1 year, it can be extended. So don't feel like after 6 months you only have 6 months of usage. So hopefully that can answer that question. And the other different functions you can see below are some of the criteria for both of those visas, just to share with everyone. Next up, kind of the other different resources here in Taipei that are offered for individuals and different entrepreneurs. I guess highlighting this list of 9 would be the number 4, the subsidies and incentives for the Taipei Industry Program. There are subsidies for startups during their first year of establishment, and that first year of establishment should include you opening up a registration for your business here in Taiwan, and that registration is just getting a business license. But after that, you are eligible for up to 30,000 US dollars or $1 million Taiwan money. That 30,000 US roughly equivalent would be applied toward branding and opening up your office. So those subsidies can be applied to that usage. It just helps startups get off the ground. And also including there is what you call the Startup Taipei office. They also help with POC and sandbox ideas with the local different governments that you can test your product. And as many of you guys are in the fintech field or financial technology fields, there are opportunities with state-owned banks and also what they call the fintech office here, which is a governmental office, but they do hold different challenges with the major banks, both private and the state banks. So that is also a great resource for different startups to utilize. Next is what is Taipei Entrepreneurs Hub and why participate and what we can provide you guys. We do have a strong network, so introduction is definitely something we highlight as Taipei is the largest city here in Taiwan and also the capital. Many of the headquarters for the major businesses are located here, so our connections are highly accessible for you guys to access the introductions. That also includes engagements and connections. Next would be the investor network. We do have a wide kind of across the region. Some of these that you see are both spread throughout Southeast Asia, all the way to Japan, all the way to Europe, which is decathlon. So the connections and the access to different investors is quite wide and able to be introduced with introduction from our team. Next would be networking events and gatherings, which is always a great opportunity for different founders to meet likewise individuals or people in similar industries to better serve your company and bring it forward. So this year, we are hosting a variety of events with the offices you see below. These offices do spread from Japan to the Netherlands to Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, and also Peru. So we do want to access founders and entrepreneurs from around the world. And with that, we host both offline and online gatherings. Mentorship, as Taiwan and every other country does have their own respective mentors for each region or each city. We do have access and introductions for Taipei's leading business leaders in many different fields. The 9 industry verticals you see here, ranging from creative commerce down to robotics. We are able to introduce you to different individuals within these fields. And as you can see, the bottom is fintech space, which is a leading fintech hub here in Taiwan with connections to most of the major banks, and they do run programs with those banks. So mentorship and online office hours are a highlight, and they do offer founders a chance to promote their company and hopefully be able to provide a service in the future. What I like to share here is somewhere that you can scan to access and join our Facebook group to learn more and be updated on future opportunities. If not, just ask a question. So this little barcode is also available here, or you can just look for Taipei Entrepreneurs on Facebook. As most of the individuals here are founders, we do hope you can join Taipei Entrepreneurs Hub. We are English only speaking organization and office, so we do hope to make your transition to Taipei easier. We do have a line group which is available to connect with more different founders in a more private manner and in a more, I guess, close and you could say it's the line is the most popular networking or chat function here in Taiwan versus maybe WhatsApp in the US or possibly WeChat in other regions. Line is the leading chat messaging service here, so we do invite you guys to join this as well. So we really hope you guys are able to join and participate. And for us, I really thank you for your time and really hope you can launch your startup here with us in Taipei.